So today I just want to talk about marriage and talk about how we can grow and deepen our marriages, especially during this time of quarantine. Because spending an excessive amount of time with our spouse and with our kids could go one of two ways. It could either be really difficult, it could be really challenging, it could be something that actually drives a wedge into our relationships, or it could be something that we really lean into and we come away with deeper and richer relationships with our kids and with our spouse. And that's really my prayer for our families at Riverbend, is that this next month or so, as we are quarantined, as we are home with our kids, with our spouse, that we would deepen those relationships and we would come away with more meaningful and more significant and deeper relationships with our spouse. There's a guy named John Gottman, and he's an expert in marriage. He's well known for being able to predict with over 90% accuracy whether a marriage will be successful or whether it will end in divorce. And he says the number one predictor is contempt, that when there's contempt in the marriage, it's headed toward trouble. And contempt, what it is, it's this feeling of superiority, this feeling of I'm better than you. You're unvaluable, you're unimportant. And when these feelings are in the marriage, obviously it's unhelpful and it's headed toward trouble. And so what contempt looks like, it can be like mean name calling or mean spirited humor. It can be sarcasm or mimicking. It can even be our body language, rolling your eyes with exasperation, like, oh, here they go again. And when those things are present in our relationship, in our marriage, it's not a healthy place. And so there's a way through it, though, and really one of the ways through it is to really nurture fondness, to nurture admiration for the other person. It's really thinking positively about the person, even if you're frustrated or angry or irritated. And I mean, it's the same thing that Jesus said 2,000 years ago, is that we are to love one another, and love isn't always an emotion or a feeling. It's an action. It's a choice to say, I'm going to love you and I'm going to think positively about you. And so for the next 3 videos, I just want to take some time to talk about how can we actually nurture admiration, fondness in our marriage. What can we do to actually have positive feelings toward the other person? And the first thing is this, is just to make a list of things that you really admire about your spouse. Make a list of, maybe you just want to start with 3 things that you really admire, that you really appreciate about your spouse. And it can't be something like, oh, I really like your shoes. Think about things that are significant, that are meaningful, that are important. And I would say the next step would actually be to even share that with your spouse and say, here's the things that I really appreciate about you. Here's the things that I really admire about you. So that's the first thing we want to talk about. And we'll come back with the other 2 ways that we can nurture admiration, fondness in our relationship. I hope this is helpful, and I hope this is something you put into practice.